If you've loved the forecast over the last 5 to 10 days, you are going to love this forecast heading into your weekend, in which temperatures are looking quite warm. We're already starting to see a taste of it here in Cincinnati itself, in which temperatures are knocking on the door of 80 degrees. And to put things in perspective, these high temperatures that we're forecasting today feel a lot more in our normal for early September rather than early October. But it's still comfortable, and we're not pairing the middle 80s this afternoon with any excruciating humidity, but we are tracking the return of the humidity and the return of the rainfall in your extended forecast. So stay tuned for that. That's all coming up in the next few minutes here on 19 at noon. If you have any questions about the forecast, the warm weekend, a little bit of fog for Saturday morning, maybe the storms early next week, leave them in the comments. We'll get to them throughout this live stream. Playing for a little bit of rain on Tuesday, which means up until Tuesday, what you see is what you get. Temperatures right now here in Cincinnati, they're warm. Middle to upper 70s. We've got one area in the 80s. Connorsville is at 80 degrees right now. And because we have such dry air in place, we're able to see these cooler, maybe borderline chilly mornings, followed by this. Afternoon highs a little bit more September-like, in which here's your forecast highs. Middle to low 80s. Some of us maybe the upper 70s, but to put it in perspective, normal for this time of year is going to be something like 73, 74, and those morning lows are starting to get a little bit cooler, at least if we were normal. But of course, we are sitting nice and late summer-like for this afternoon. Mostly sunny skies continue for any and all of the football games across the tri-state tonight and into tomorrow morning. Because of the clear skies, the cooler temperatures, we're watching out for some fog for you guys around the area waterways. So you'll take a look here at your weather timeline here in just a second. I want to talk about our game of the week, which is the game of the week. Moeller at Elder at the Pit tonight at 7 o'clock. That kickoff will be 78 degrees. Cooling down, of course. The sun will set around 7:18 this evening, which means most of the game the sun will be down, in which temperatures will be falling into the middle 50s overnight into your Saturday. So a nice chilly start to the day tomorrow. Cool, if you want to get particular, which here's your future visibility map here. Perfect visibility on this particular model is 25. So notice that we don't exactly have 0, but we don't have 25. So it's somewhere in the middle, so expect patches of fog. I'd say the most dense fog will be around the waterways because we're able to tap into cooler temperatures there by the surface. But by around noon, that's when we're looking at perfect 25s across the board once again. So this will affect the walk to end Alzheimer's tomorrow morning, in which, yeah, the fog will be the biggest impact to it. I know we've had years in the past in which it's been really cold. Maybe it's been a little bit on the rainy side, but we're not dodging either of those this year. We are just tracking a little bit of fog in the morning, patchy, not too dense, and then we'll see temperatures warm up pretty quickly throughout the morning. The walk starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, mostly sunny skies, temperatures by then in the upper 60s to the lower 70s and climbing. Here's those forecast highs for your Saturday and your Sunday. Plenty of sun in both days, fit for a sunflower festival, which is going on at Gorman Heritage Farm there in Evendale. Temperature high of 83 on Saturday and a similar feel for Sunday. The only difference that I'm seeing here is a stray chance of some drizzle out there on Saturday. So that's some new information that is getting picked up on our higher resolution models. Not everyone has it, and not everyone's going to see it. It's a 10% chance. So if you see it, you won't see it for too long, because as soon as these pop up, it's just going to fizzle out. But then more substantial rain is on tap. We're starting to see this speed up a little bit. So the timing for that early week rain has changed. You'll notice Monday has a 30% chance in the afternoon, whereas Tuesday still has that most chance of 70%. So let's get you through your weather timeline. We're going to start with right now. We got some fair weather clouds out there, upper levels as well. So a lot of moisture in the upper levels of the atmosphere is giving us those nice, pretty cirrus clouds. I'll show you what that means for sundogs coming up here in just a second. But the afternoon, maybe some heat-induced, partly cloudy skies and spots, but yeah, we're not tracking much in the way of rain. Pay attention here. I'm going to show you guys what fog we're tracking, and I'll actually point it out on the map behind me, because here's 6 o'clock in the morning here for Saturday. You see this little gray here hugging the Ohio River? That's fog. You'll see it thicken, maybe in spots become really dense, but then by about 10 o'clock it's already gone because we're seeing really warm temperatures, at least relatively warm temperatures, by the afternoon, which leads into this tiny little chance of rain. Let me show you guys exactly when we're seeing this pop up. We've been seeing this around 1 to 2 o'clock. You see how little these guys are? They're trying. I think these showers will really struggle in the dry air we have in place. So it's a possibility of a stray shower. So it's really not going to impact your plans all too much. But if you see a few raindrops in spots, don't be surprised. But as soon as it pops up, it will be losing steam, leading into a nice clear night overnight into Sunday, which Sunday looks sunny, fit for Sunday, right? And temperatures that day are going to be quite warm in the middle 80s. Monday and Tuesday of next week, here comes the rain, in which showers, look at this, Thursday, what am I talking about? Monday, southwest of Cincinnati. Could see some scattered showers as soon as Monday evening. See, it's mainly going to be down south of us, entirely down towards Louisville, Evansville, even Lexington. It's really going to struggle with this dry air we have in place, but it's possible that we see it here. But the biggest impact with early week rain, it's still looking like it's going to be Tuesday. This had sped up a little bit. Instead of this being a late afternoon to evening event, this is now kind of an all-day sort of scenario in which we're going to be seeing scattered showers, few rumbles of thunder as soon as 9 in the morning. That'll carry through the early afternoon into 4 o'clock, which is what you see here, and then start to calm down by the late evening. Here's 9 o'clock, which means we could be looking at and are looking at a much drier Wednesday forecast. As soon as we are able to get the rain out, we're able to see the sun come back in. So here's what I'm seeing for Monday night. Those southwest of Cincinnati have a greater chance of some showers down that direction, but the rest of us, anywhere from about 1/2 inch to 2 inches of rain, depending on where you are. Of course, I show you this map so far out in advance, not to show you exactly where 2 inches of rain are going to fall, but to show you the range of possibilities with this, because yeah, some of us could just get about 1/2 inch, maybe less, but those thunderstorms that we're tracking could produce some downpours. We're talking 2 inches possible in that forecast for Tuesday. So a good soaking rain, but we really do need it, and it's not for nothing. You'll see here on your 10-day forecast what this does to those temperatures, something a lot more fall-like for this time next week, and including next weekend too. Saturday, Sunday, tomorrow and Sunday, middle 80s, and that'll extend on Monday too. Again, Tuesday's the day in which those rain showers are going to be pretty widespread. Expect some rain throughout the day on Tuesday. Wednesday, that's when we're starting to see the cooler temperatures settle on in. It looks like the coolest day though is going to be on Thursday, 68, that forecast high. Let me show you those low temperatures. The sweater weather. She's here, guys. She's in my 10-day forecast. It's kind of hard to believe, but it's October. It's normal, right? So 40s, we're tracking that for the morning lows later next week. So if you still have the sweaters, the layers boxed up, I'd say now is the time, or this weekend is the time to start those preparations. It's not a big drop into the 30s by all means, but those will be here before we know it. This is just a sign of the times, and the times, they are starting to get cooler. Let's talk about the first alert extended forecast now. So, tale of two halves here, except we're starting to see that pivot day get a little bit closer, which is still Tuesday. That's the day to watch for showers and thunderstorms, which means today, your entire weekend, and Monday, while it is going to be warm, it is going to be quite comfortable, especially in the mornings and the evenings for the jogs, for taking the dog out on the walk, things of that nature. But the heat of the day in the sun, it can be a little toasty, so give yourself some breaks. 83 for Saturday, 84 for Sunday. Got the UC game against the Iowa State Cyclones. Kickoff is going to be noon. Temperatures will be warming up throughout the game, and you'll be getting a decent amount of sun. So bring the sunglasses and don't even think about the layers. Same thing with the Sunday Bengals game against the Detroit Lions, which kickoff is around 4:25 that afternoon. And so the game will be 84 degrees and pretty steady throughout the game. Monday, spotty afternoon showers. That's mainly southwest of Cincinnati. That keeps temperatures here in Cincinnati warm 82, your forecast high. And notice on Tuesday, showers and thunderstorms still in that forecast. Temperatures that day in the upper 70s, but that's really not the biggest impact that we're talking about. It's going to be the storms. And then Wednesday, just a couple of rain showers early. We still can't rule it out because we still have some uncertainty in the timing of it all. So still check back on Wednesday's forecast, but the trend is drier and a little bit more sunny, especially towards the afternoon. Temperatures cooler in the low 70s in that following morning, Thursday morning. That is when we're tracking the return of those 40-degree low temperatures, followed by a comfortable afternoon, 68 degrees there on Thursday. And stepping into that second weekend of October, we're actually going to feel like it, guys. Unless things dramatically change, those temperatures will be in the middle 70s. Again, that's not this weekend, that's next weekend. So we'll let you know if anything changes. See if any questions coming on in. Scott's tuning in. Good afternoon, Erin. Good afternoon, Scott. Thank you for your kind words. I hope you have a great weekend, and thank you for tuning in. Erin is tuning in. Happy Friday, Erin. Happy Friday to you, Erin. I hope you have a great weekend, too. JD is asking about the weather for Canton, Ohio tomorrow morning. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty similar to today in Cincinnati, but JD, I highly encourage you to find some local meteorologists in Canton that can give you a better idea, because I of course, watch Cincinnati like a hawk, but Canton is hours north and east of here. But nevertheless, it's pretty calm across the entire Buckeye State right now. I'm assuming a little bit of a cool start to the day tomorrow. They don't really have a whole lot of waterways out near Canton, but you can't rule out some patches of fog in the rural areas. Darla is tuning in. Good Friday afternoon, Erin. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you, Darla. Today's been a good day so far, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Really soak it in and enjoy it. That's all the questions I have coming in. It is 12:12. Let's talk about the fall foliage before I hop off of here, because our partners at Explore Fall, they do great work, really interesting work with the fall color. It's one of my favorite things to track, and they of course do all the heavy lifting and I do all the communicating. So here is the latest map that they have put together. So this data is courtesy of explorefall.com. You see the legend on the right, which shows you what the colors mean on the map. You see most of the southern United States, little to no fall color, whereas we're seeing the yellow starting to get closer and closer, which includes us here in Cincinnati. We're seeing patchy fall color right now as of, or I should say, yeah, as of yesterday, October 2nd, in which, yeah, I mean, stress from the drought, we've already noticed the yellows, but now it's starting to cool down too. What is going to happen with how the setup is and how the leaves changing works is because the leaves don't have a lot of water and we're seeing a dramatic drop in temperatures, we're going to see this map change very quickly. We're going to go from patchy to near peak to past peak in a matter of weeks. I mean, we do that all the time, but I'm assuming, I'm tracking how the drought is going to affect this year's fall color, in which, like last year, we really didn't see the intense colors, right? The yellows, the oranges, the reds. It wasn't too vibrant, and that's because we had severe drought across much of the tri-state this time last year. This year, it's not as severe, the drought isn't. And so while we are seeing some stress out there to the trees and to the brush, it's not as bad as last year. However, it's still going to impact how early you see the fall color, which of course, we are on track to see peak fall color by the end of this month. It just won't be as vibrant as the years we've gotten enough rain. Of course, the month of September and early October, both of the rainfall totals we watch pretty carefully, and you know as much as I do, September was a very dry month, and we're stepping into October. I mean, we're 3 days in, but if you see this 10-day forecast, you got one good chance for showers and storms, and that's on Tuesday, which it'll produce a good amount in spots, but it won't be enough to completely lift us out of the drought conditions that we have settled in across the tri-state. Okay, any other questions coming on in? I'm not seeing anything. All right, so the time is 12:15. It's the first full weekend of October. Hopefully you guys have some fun plans, because while it is going to be warm, it's going to be dry, it's going to be comfortable, and showers and storms are on the way. So if you need and you really, really want the fall-like temperatures, the fall-like weather for the pumpkin patches, the corn mazes, the haunted houses, maybe this weekend's not your weekend, but next weekend is. And I'll have the latest information on that coming up on Fox 19 at 3 o'clock. But first now, signing off here in Queens Gate, I'm meteorologist Erin Ashley. Have a beautiful weekend.